Welcome to Söndagsöppet, Tina Turner.
Thank you.
It's really nice to have you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You will release your new album, but you have had a break for a while. Why did you take a break?
Oh, off time.
Off time.
It was like a year and a half tour, and it was time to take off. Actually, I planned to take off 3 years, but didn't get by. 2.5.
What do you do when you're off? A perfect day off?
Nothing. No calendar, nothing. Just to move around as I like, to decide as slowly as I want. It feels really good to wake up with no schedule.
So, but I heard you were into gardening and you like interior design.
But that's not every day. That's just the whim of the moment, you know.
When you get a little bit of energy to do something.
No, it's kind of just like things that you plan when you get up and you think, what would I like to do today, or that kind of thing. And the gardeners are there and that kind of thing. But it's not as if like it was in the past where I had to get out in the garden or out in the fields, or it's not exactly like that anymore.
Yeah. But I heard you're doing meditation, and I'm actually starting a meditation course this Thursday. Wonderful. So what do you think is the best with meditation?
Well, it depends on the individual. For many years I did the Lord's Prayer, and then after about 30 years of my life I changed to Buddhism, and it works for me. It's what you feel. It's what you feel that's working for you.
Is it good to do it before you go on stage?
Oh, I just do mine daily, morning and evening, and sometimes I miss, but once you get in the practice of anything, it starts to work for you, and that's kind of how I live my life.
When you're off, when you're not working, what do you miss about it then?
About working?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing? Well, what made you come back?
Well, it was an album, and once there's an album, that's kind of a demand from the public. I have people often saying, oh, please, Tina, don't retire. You let us women know that we can keep going. So I think, okay, well, maybe that's my job. I'll go and do it. And but I think the love is still there. But if I never perform again, it's not that I miss the lights and the stage and the makeup and the clothes, you know. I've gotten past all of the excitement of that.
But I heard that this new album was not meant to be a new album. What happened about that?
It wasn't meant to be an album yet. Elton John did a musical, and I did one of the songs, Aida. And from that, he was sparked with thinking that he'd like for me to perform with him. So I thought, well, all right, because I thought he really needed some company on stage. And it sounded a little bit exciting because I thought, well, maybe this is an avenue where it can tell me how to perform differently when I'm ready to go back out. And so I was thinking in that term. And it turned out into something else because then the dates started to mount, and the tour was getting bigger than 3 months and 3 days a year. For 3 months the tour was, and then we were supposed to have only worked 3 days a week, and it just kind of started expanding and expanding. And so then after that didn't work out between us musically in terms of what we wanted to do. Then of course the record company decided, oh, come on, do an album now, it's time. And the music was good. So it was a mixture of cause and effect that I'm back here. I had 1 more year, and I kept saying, I'm not off yet, I'm not time, I have more time. But you know, when you're in the business, and if you're really in the business, and when you've come as far as I've come, you really shouldn't say no. It took a long time to fill stadiums and to get the attention of the people, and to get the respect of the people and the admiration. So I feel a little bit like I'm due this. I mean, I should do this.
But we're so happy that you do this.
Thank you.
You live in Europe.
Yeah.
You've done that for over 10 years. What do you like the most with Europe?
It's very difficult to explain, I'd have to say, because it is the total opposite of America. One answer that I give to that is to say, okay, well, I lived in America half of my life, and the next half I live in Europe. I've always loved it. I've always loved how old and the cultures, and the fact that everything is, all the countries are so close together, and the excitement of 1 hour, money has changed, the view has changed, the people have changed, so it keeps your mind moving, and it's still very exciting for me.
I saw an interview that you did 10 years ago when you were in Stockholm, that you mentioned that is fun to maybe learn a new language as well. Have you learned a new language?
My ears are still open. It's not easy, you know. It's not easy, especially that I'm still moving around quite a bit, starting in London, from London to Germany, then south of France, and now Switzerland. And so I'm kind of distracted, but, and I don't pick up from the ear, you know. I need to really go to school and take time. But all of my friends and people around me, they spoil me because they want to practice their English on me, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So then everyone is speaking English, and so I don't really get the opportunity to speak a different language as much as I'd like to. But after this tour, I'm going to take a break long enough to speak it for myself, just to have a second language.
Which language then?
French.
French. Your real name is Anna May Bullock. Is there a part of you still that is Anna?
That's very difficult to say because I've traveled and I'm older and I see things differently. I was a child as Anna May, and I grew to be a 60-year-old woman. So obviously the soul is still there, but it's a wiser, more educated soul. I don't think we can ever get away from ourselves, but my memory and everything is still quite vivid, but I don't really use Anna May anymore because I don't really need to.
But she's a part of your life.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. You've been in Stockholm now for a couple of days, and what have you done here? What do you like to do when you're in Stockholm?
Well, actually, it's kind of like a curse for me. Every time I'm here, I'm sick. But I didn't get the sickness from Stockholm. I came with it because there's a little bug in London, I think. And so I came with a head cold and it changed to a chest cold. But I have a very nice suite, and I was looking out into the water in the boats and watching the people.
Is there something you appreciate in Stockholm especially?
I like sitting there looking from the window, looking at the water and the boats and the people. I like people watching. It's always a pleasure to sit there and look. The last time here, I had a bit of a cold and I had to get out to get fresh air. So I walked around town. I saw the city a little bit and the countryside, and it was really quite nice.
Good. It's soon the year 2000. What will happen then?
Well, I don't know. I think we'll all see.
Do you know how you're going to celebrate New Year's Eve?
I will be working in Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Or working at New Year's Eve?
Yeah. Well, most entertainers do.
They do. Well, they say so. But you also have another thing to celebrate. It's your birthday soon, coming up.
Oh.
So therefore, we just want to give you a little present. This is two glasses that is designed by a Swedish
Oh, wonderful.
man. So it's really nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And now the stage is yours.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for this.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I can live